Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are still working on Love's Labour's Lost, and we get to hear from Berowne again today in Act 1, Scene 1. Shocker, we're going to hear a lot from Berowne. He talks a lot in this play, and a lot of it is great big chunks of text. Anyway, so things that are happening. Berowne, Dumaine, and Longueville have agreed to live with King Ferdinand in the Kingdom of Navarre and study for the next 3 years. And included in the agreement, which they have now all signed at this point, is that they're not supposed to see women, they're not supposed to sleep more than 3 hours a night, and they're not supposed to have more than one meal a day, and 1 day a week they're supposed to fast entirely. And Berowne had some issues with this, but he finally caved and says, yes, I'm going to sign the document, just give it to me, and I'm in, I'll do the thing. So Ferdinand hands him the document, and he goes to sign it, and he starts reading some things, and he's like, oh, so if a woman comes within a mile of the court, we're going to cut out her tongue? And they're like, yep, that's a thing. And he's like, who put this in there? And Longueville is like, I did. And Berowne literally gets to say, good Lord, and why? Which is just, I love that that line exists in the realm of Shakespeare. And Longueville replies, well, obviously, like, to scare them away from coming to our kingdom, because if they show up here, they're going to get their tongues cut out. So if we scare them away, then, you know, we won't fall into the trap of potentially speaking to a woman if they make sure to stay at least a mile away from the court. And Berowne says, a dangerous law against gentility. Item. If any man be seen to talk with a woman within the term of 3 years, he shall endure such public shame as the rest of the court shall possibly devise. This article, my liege, yourself must break, for well you know here comes in embassy the French king's daughter, with yourself to speak, a maid of grace and complete majesty, about surrender up of Aquitaine to her decrepit, sick, and bedrid father. Therefore, this article is made in vain, or vainly comes the admired princess hither. So basically what he's saying is, this whole thing about chopping out a lady's tongue for getting within a mile of the court is really quite rude. That's what that first line is. And then he takes a look at the thing again, and according to the agreement, if anybody talks to a woman, the other guys get to come up with some fun punishment for him. And he's like, wait, hang on a second. The Princess of France is coming to talk to you, King Ferdinand, about giving the territory or kingdom of Aquitaine back to her father who's sick. So she's coming on her father's behalf, and you know that she's coming. So therefore, this clause in the thing saying we cannot speak to women, you're about to break it like within about an hour from now. So how do you reconcile this? And King Ferdinand basically says, oh crap, I forgot. But then we're going to hear a little bit more tomorrow on how they plan to reconcile that whole thing if they're not supposed to see women, yet the princess is coming. I'm also just going to say this play is called Love's Labour's Lost. So of course there were going to be ladies showing up at some point, because he was also very heteronormative. But anyway, yeah, tomorrow we will get to hear how they plan to get around this little bit, yet still try to receive the princess who is on her way to the kingdom. I'll see you then for that.